Yo, 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 yo. This intro is always interesting. It gets me going.
Hello, people. How are you today?
Welcome to the Funky Marketing Show. Every week at exactly the same time, 3 p.m. Central European time, Totsi and I are doing the show.
And we are more than ready to call out latest things we don't like in our industry and to highlight few interesting points we noticed from the last week or week before.
Yeah, so we were thinking about what should be the topic of today's live, and basically we have no idea. So today will be centered around the things, around the questions actually uh, that we are receiving, and it's like, why are you in SaaS? Why should we work with you? How do you educate yourselves? Where does your education come from? Those kind of things. Especially having in mind that we are coming from the Southeast Europe, and here there aren't many SaaS products. There are many SaaS companies. It's all based on service-based businesses. Now it's changing a little bit, moving further with that. But we're not going to go back to the childhood, but we're going to go back to our start in marketing, let's say. So Totsi, I think we can start with when is the first time that you got in touch with marketing in general?
In general, no, that's interesting question, but you said we will not go through all the childhood. I don't know if you believe me. For the first time, I start thinking about marketing and everything. It was like in my sixth grade. I put like ad together with my two friends that we are ready to sell video games for Commodore 64. So we have like that entrepreneurial spirit early on, but for marketing a little bit on higher level, let's say it. I was studied economics, so for me it was like something I started studying in my early 20s, but somehow I always felt digital better. So I
Where
started
you weren't on the marketing department, right?
in that point, it was like a more general study. So we had like few marketing related topics, stuff like that, but not like so specialized at that moment before Bologna and everything. Well, I'm old. What can I say? And I don't know. I was like always in digital. I love social media. Before that, I love blogging as a way of communication. And somehow I discovered MySpace, and I was like completely drilled inside, and I start building an audience early on, and I learned how to drive some targeted traffic, how to curate content from other people's blogs, and I combined my social media presence and my blogging activities. And after some time, I start my own blogging media platform,
So
and
that's happened while you were still studying.
Mm, around I was like 25, I think. So it was like
Yeah. Let's stick to the first time you heard about marketing. We have time to go through that. So it happened on the university, right?
yeah.
And how did you think at that time of marketing? I know that I heard it first time when I started studying marketing. I didn't choose to study marketing. Like I wanted to study tourism and geography, but my parents wanted me to study something related to the mathematics and economics, which was, from my point of view, a suicide because I had, D's and E's from mathematics and physics in the high school, and all A's from all the other
I understand
topics.
your pain, bro. I understand your pain.
But not because I didn't get it. It's because I wasn't interested in it. I was interested in just enough so I can move on, and so I kind of got into the University of Economics in Belgrade, but wasn't on the state budget. So I needed to move back to Niš, and in Niš they didn't have that department, tourism and hotels. So I needed to, I ended up studying marketing because I said, okay, marketing, I can study that. I had no idea. I thought it was only advertising and commercials, but it turns out that it isn't even close of what we were learning over there. We had one exam, 1 out of 35, named marketing, when we were talking about what kind of T-shirt Roger Federer had in the finals of the U.S. Open back in the days, those kind of things. But outside of that, nothing. I learned how to run the organization, but not how to do marketing. I was learning how many corn do they have in California, or certain animals somewhere in the world, totally unrelated things. So I quit, and I went to I founded an NGO, and went into the youth work to kind of learn in a different way. And when I frozen my year on the faculty, I went to volunteer for 2 months in Bansko in Bulgaria. It's a huge ski center, and I chose to volunteer in a hotel in marketing.
Nice.
You know what they were doing over there? It was nine women, all of them smoking and talking at the same time and doing accounting. That was marketing.
Interesting.
So I said, fuck it. I lasted for 2 hours and I never looked back. So that was my experience with marketing and starting with it.
Nice. I don't know. I also had like some like completely wrong idea about about my studying and everything, and well, sooner or later you will be disappointed, and probably that's the case with majority of us. But then you start learning on your own, and that's probably the most interesting part. How we from like completely different background with completely different background stories start learning and testing things to see what's working, what's not. And I don't know, people, if you're not aware of that web was like completely different 20 years ago, 15 years ago, especially how Google ranks websites. So it was like really
for me and even for you, like you're not 10 years older than me, but it's close enough. So yeah, it was totally different. I mean, we barely had phones when I started my college, and internet. I was going to the small internet shops, or to my friend's apartment to go to Facebook. And even before that, when we had what was the name of the Tom guy and
MySpace.
MySpace, you had basically the coolest music, and that's why chicks loved you. That's the best times. I mean, that's my ultimate goal of how do I choose a female, by music. So that was the dream come true at the time.
And I don't know, it was nice because if you wanted to have like a nice MySpace profile, you need to do some work, and to be able to understand, you need to know some basic HTML. So it was like really cool platform, and somehow you need to talk with people and to exchange ideas, to exchange how you can fix this. So people were like more related to each other, and somehow Facebook changed everything, and now we are just scrolling and liking, and somehow people feel dumber and dumber year by year. So we are like less content creators, we start being content consumers, and we are doing that more in silence by liking, scrolling and liking. And I really don't like that because I'm doing content creation for all my life. So, but
Yeah, but
things will.
let me give me the info. So, how did you start writing? That was the first thing you did inside marketing, right?
Yes, yes.
So, writing. And how did you start doing that and why?
I don't know. I always loved to write, even in elementary school. So writing in public, in digital, I started first with forums. After that, it was like a blog on B92, like big Serbian media portal. And I loved two-way communication, exchanging ideas, arguing with other people, stuff like that. So I just react. I felt the power and I go wild. And I don't know. After that, well, things start a little bit different because I had my own website with authors and everything, and I wanted to bring more authors, to bring more visitors. And I was like very interested in building audience and driving some targeted traffic. So I start learning about search engine optimization at this moment and that moment, and for that point it was like completely natural for me. And that's like the first time I found some things on web about search engine optimization, and probably that was like the main point where I was go more in researching and learning two
So,
things.
it was a group of you guys, right? At the time, something like that. You got yourself together, people that love writing and know how to write, and can found out that, okay, I know how to write for myself, maybe I can do it for somebody else, and then you started figuring things out.
Yeah, exactly like that. And I don't know. After, I mean, after 5 years testing, learning things, testing, learning, finding books, finding video related materials about the topic, I was like pretty comfortable. I'm really good at that, and other people start noticing me, noticing my social media presence, my writing. And in 2012 I start working for like really big Australian SEO company, and they're hiring like people usually from Croatia and from Serbia, but they try to bring A players to the team. And I don't know, I
So
was like,
you came as an already established,
yeah.
content person, right? Something
Yeah,
like that.
content and social media person. They were like more technical SEO crew, and I came like with really strong writing and social media background to give them like more life. And I don't know. I came there as a senior consultant, and with my personal team behind you, I bring them together, and we start preparing like articles for our own needs. And it was like really nice experience for me because in that period of time, I worked with like big clients for Virgin Australia, PayPal Australia, and few bigger Australian companies, as I said, as a team leader and senior. So I had like directly communications with them and managing like all the tasks below me with my team and other team members from company.
Sounds like a natural, you know, order of things, how things are happening. I don't know, when I'm listening to you and I'm, thinking about my journey, it was everything but not linear.
Yeah,
So, because like from that point when I was, volunteering somewhere and learning what marketing is not, I, started organizing huge summer camps and events because in my hometown nobody was doing that. So, and we needed to promote them. So basically, that's how I started learning social media and those kind of things, and basically got the page of my NGO that I formed in 2010, 2011. We got it to the 5,000 followers, which were the most in the city at that time. So uh, everybody that needed some information about the events, about the youth, about anything would come to us at that time. And also, like, one summer, I went to we were just, chilling and didn't know what to do with ourselves. You know how it is in the summer when
Yeah.
when you are on a vacation or you're studying but you don't have exams, those kind of things. So here there's a summer camp. Somebody is organizing, some biologists here on the mountain, on Staraplanina mountain. Let's go over there, and we went there for 3 days. I stayed for 20 days, as long as the camp lasts, and it turns out that they want somebody to take over the camp. So it was me taking over the camp the next summer, and out of like 30 to 60 people on the summer camp, the next year we got also like people from abroad and a lot of other stuff, and I got like 196 people on the camp for 14 days, and without advertising, without budget, without anything. Basically, I was using Facebook groups at the time. There were a lot of groups related to the Erasmus Plus exchanges, things for the youth projects. So I used that to kind of attract people to apply and get them. So basically, I was doing that for 4 years. And last year we got like people from 18 countries in a village on the mountain in Serbia. It was truly amazing, an amazing experience. You learn a lot of those people just by talking with them and how to attract them also. So, and year by year, I needed to have some kind of, not a financial gain, but to make it profitable. So I organize, selling juices, selling beer, those kind of things, organizing a lot of different stuff for the community and a lot of other things. But I learned how to, how to organize the team, how to manage 200 people. That was a nice experience because, when you try to ask for a feedback, it wasn't any. It's not like we had 196 people at once at the camp. It was during the 2 weeks, but at one time we had like 80 something people. So I asked them, for the feedback. Of course, nobody responded
Of course.
because they have the mass behind them, and so I had to figure it out how I'm going to do it. So we had at one part we have only people from abroad. On the other object, we have people from Serbia, and in the middle there were tents, and it was mixed people from all around. And so I put my tent in the middle. And after the dinner, I came to the tent to work a little bit inside the tent and to listen to the people because they are in tents or outside tents and they don't know that I'm listening. So I hear the feedback, and tomorrow morning, no problemo. Everything is working fine. And those kind of things, like, because I was changing things before me, the camp was something people were using just to go to drink, especially people from the village, because it was a unique opportunity that young ladies are coming to the village, parties and everything. And I made them work, clean the river, clean the garbage dumps, all kind of different stuff. And I got a little bit of hate from the village. So the next year, I brought my friend who is like the leftist, bald, and everything with the huge muscles, and told him he is the main guy on the camp. Go to him for everything, so I could manage everybody else. So those kind of things, and I didn't even realize how much did I learn.
No, you learn how to
So
deal with people.
yeah, and in the middle of all that, basically because I was living out of the activism and I couldn't apply for the projects and those kind of things out of some sad events that happened in my private life. We're not going to get into them right now, but I couldn't apply for the projects and I needed to leave out of something. So I was working like night shifts in the cafes and all kind of different things. But one time the guy called me and say, I'm working for a Canadian-based marketing agency, and we've been listening to you speaking about your experience, about your background 2 years ago on an event in a different city when I was as a youth leader speaking. And we have a place for the social media guy in a company. What do you know about marketing? I knew just enough to start. So, but for me, the first month and a half was learning SEO, because that was kind of the main service that we were providing. And at that time, SEO was, things you do on a daily level is you leave meaningful comments on articles and other, directories on the internet. That was it. Like, I was leaving meaningful comments for the first 2 weeks. I was like, what the fuck, is this really marketing? But what was really good is that the team over there made me actually read the articles so I can leave meaningful comments. And I was actually learning by doing that. So, back in the times that was link building, remember those days.
Good old days, good old days.
Man, I don't know if they are good, but they're old definitely.
It was like really interesting because you could make like really nice money just putting out some affiliate site and do some, well, for me as a content creator, I will just go put some like basic WordPress website around one affiliate product. I will prepare 5 to 10 articles. I will link between them, and I don't know, I will do some like basic link building with additional round of articles, and things will start doing. And actually you could easily make profitable website in a day or two, just like that, and to try to test it to improve it even further. So it was like nice time to test things, to learn things, to try to actually trying to find some like sweet spots, keywords without any strong competition. And by doing all this, somehow my, let's say, dark gray hat from the beginning starts evolving. I was like Gandalf, learning new things, and I don't know how Google starts changing the algorithm and things become like more and more complicated. I actually was forced to learn new things and to do things by the book. And after some time, I was like completely content based, white hat SEO. So it was like a journey for me.
So who are the guys from whom you've learned from the start? I know. Is it, when we look at the SEO, usually like back in the days, it can be also Neil Patel. I mean, even today people are learning from him. So who? Tell me about the journey. How did you learn from whom to learn?
I was like Moz guy. I had like my blogging account on Moz, and it was like SEO Moz in that time. So Rand Fishkin, Cyrus Shepard, even Bill Slavsky, because he do. I was interested to learn how algorithm actually works. So Bill Slavsky with his works was like really excellent choice. For me, and I don't know, so search engine land, Danny Sullivan in that time, so that was probably the main sources of knowledge for me.
Yeah, I think I started with Gary Vee and then went to some others. Gary Vee is great for that time when you start, because it gives he talks about the hustle, he talks about all those things. But back in the days, I was just learning and watching a lot of videos while I was doing things and sharing everything with the team. We had a Slack group, and I was sharing tons of things over there. So everything that I learned, I wanted the team to learn as well. And I soon I became the team lead. And as I was moving forward, got also the biggest accounts. Back in the days, those were automotive shops, auto repair and used car sales shops from based in Hamilton and Ontario, Canada. Some e-commerce shops, and a lot of other different clients from really different industries. But what's been interesting is that that is exactly what I needed back in the days, because I had the freedom. The owners give me the freedom to find a way how to make something work, and also the clients, they didn't imply like do this or do that, but you find a way how we're gonna get that to the number one to three spot for that keyword. You find a way how we're going to get traffic over there. You find a way how we're going to get more clients. And because I was doing a lot of things, getting a lot of results, and sharing all that with the team and outside of the team, I got promoted to be a GM in like 13 months. And it was interesting because then as a GM, I was the one setting up my own goals. So, it can be something that can kill all your creativity, or you can kill it by finding the way to make it work. So I told myself, okay, for us, for the clients to move up on Google, we need to do something new every day, or we need to find some different things that are working. So I was doing one thing and measuring all that by relevant people coming to the website. Relevant means that they are converting, they are scheduling calls. I was on a call every week with a client asking, how many customers do you got? Because if you are in automotive industry, if you don't get from first to the third place on Google Maps, you get zero. You get zero clients. And because people are driving and then searching from mobile, and that's how they find you. And it was interesting. I learned a lot of things, because cars are expensive toys, and feedback can be really brutal, and you need to have a brutal service to keep going with that. And it was interesting. I mostly learned at that time about the content, about organic marketing, and at the time happened the thing with Facebook newsfeed, when Facebook basically stopped showing things in the newsfeed from the pages and everything. And a lot of people started to panic. What
It
are we
was
going to
madness.
do?
It was
Fuck you,
madness in that
Facebook.
time.
You are taking money out of my pocket. Like those kind of things. And I was like, okay, things are moving in a way where we have, where the employees or every company will be the biggest influencers of that company. So what did I do? I made a checklist for everybody from my team. I was running I think it was 4 people in my marketing team. There was a development team, and there was 1 designer and 2 owners, something like that. Around 15 people were in the company. So I created a checklist for them what to do every day, to post on LinkedIn, how to distribute the content, how to do a lot of things. So basically empowering them to create their own personal brands. And back in the days, it was something that came from me as a GM. So and it's interesting. Now we are seeing that those things are actually really working over there. But people didn't realize that. I wanted to implement also, to record a short video, just to say to the clients, hey, let's say, Mick, we are going to have a reporting call this week. This is what we're going to talk about. Chat next week. That's it. Just to come and make it more personal. But it was like, whoa, he's demanding of me to do that, to those kind of
Oh
things.
no.
And it was interesting because, in general, I was learning a lot because when I became the GM, the owners disappeared for 2 months, and they told to the team like Nemanja has all the rights and responsibilities and all the freedom that we have as the owners. Ask him for everything. And before I got to the GM position, I wrote like 17 stuff with my buddy Atsa at the time to go to the owners and to tell them if they don't fix it, we are leaving the company. And basically, they told me, now you implement them.
Here you
You
are.
are the ones
Go.
who will do it. And I didn't know any process. I didn't know any password, anything. So I needed to create everything from the start. Processes for hiring, processes for the marketing team, for design, everything. And I learned tons of stuff. It slowed us down as a company, but it propel me to the future like a couple of months advanced. And so that's kind of the thing that I see as a most important thing when you are learning something, that you have the freedom to do things, to make mistakes, to implement, and that somebody believes in you and gives you that freedom.
I have like similar experience, but from in my perspective, sometimes you need to fight hard for that freedom. Remember back in the days
Mm-hmm.
in 2012 when I started working with that huge Australian company, it was like huge team company. It was like 100 plus people, and at the beginning of the month, I will receive my tasks, my clients, and strategy and checklist what they need to do till the end of the month. And to be honest, I didn't like the strategy. So I decided, hey, I will test few things, and I did few things on my own. And I was brave enough to actually do my own strategy. And after first month, I sent a report, and it was like a little bit different than they expected. And I was there to actually defend my strategy. And then they checked the results, and they saw like complete Google domination for few clients because I used like completely diversified approach in that time. I set additional blog spot for clients completely on my own with articles prepared by my own personal team, completely out of strategy. And after that, I use like visual elements to make additional boards on Pinterest, and I actually succeed to rank for the clients with Pinterest boards and blog spot articles and things completely out of their vision of strategy. And people start thinking, hey, what's this guy is doing? And after 2-3 months, I had like completely freedom to do what I want to do. And even they told me, hey, Ivan, maybe you are like fixing things too fast. Maybe you can slow down a little bit, because if you succeed in your strategy, maybe clients will left us like too soon. We like they don't need us anymore. So I mean, freedom is good, but sometimes you need to prove you can do things right, and you can do it actually by testing things, by learning things, and by executing things. Without that, you are just talking, and that's it.
Yeah. It's good that you reminded me of that. Like, I was the last one coming to the company, and I was the first ever GM. A lot of people hated me for that. So that's also something to consider, how others
Because,
are reacting to your success.
because
And
you're different, and you put like more energy into day-to-day work, and people usually don't like that, especially in bigger companies.
yeah, but there is also one mistake I did when we are already talking about it. That I wanted everybody to be like me. To work for
That's a
more
mistake.
hours, to learn the way I learn, to move forward as fast as I am. So I then realized that it's quite okay for somebody to work for 8 hours, to give its best, and to go home after that. That's perfectly fine if they are satisfied with their lives. But then you, as a company, think if that person is the right for what you want to achieve. But from that perspective, it's perfectly fine and it's perfectly okay. everybody has their own goals in life and from business. So yeah, but that part of my story ended up, I was also doing some sales because we got clients from referrals, but they stopped. At one moment they stopped because we had the same clients for years and they ran out of the recommendations for us. So we got a few from the sides, and so I got the team, as I mentioned, the checklist to become more active on LinkedIn, so we can get a couple of clients. From there, we started doing, LinkedIn outreach. Basically, at the time, it was a tool that was acting like a human coming to you. You go to the LinkedIn search, you add, the industry, positions, and everything, seniority, and then you go to sleep and let it to run, and it acts like a person comes to the profile, stays for 20 seconds and then leaves, because 20 seconds is enough to inform somebody that you have been visiting their profile. And tomorrow, if you see that that they came to visit back to your profile and visit your profile, then you reach out to them and you start relationship. But I saw that you go and talk about business things, but you close things via Twitter, talking about some different things outside of the business. So that was also the learnings. But I felt like I don't have anything else to learn over there. So I moved to specialize in website personalization, marketing automation, those kind of things. And I don't know what was the second step for you, but for me, I had to learn some things right from the start. I was writing emails. I was doing Facebook campaigns. I was doing that in the first company as well, but now it was only me, in charge for those things. And who knows? It's a little bit different because it was performance marketing, and the pressure was a lot bigger, and we needed results now. So it was kind of interesting. So what was your the second step in the career? Let's say the second or the third.
At some point, together with my personal team, because I notice like from early on in that company that we are doing like link building efforts with not so high quality articles at that point. And I start producing articles for other guys in company, and month by month I hire more and more writers to join me. And at the same time, I love like transferring knowledge and stuff like that, so I start educating them about marketing, about SEO, about things I learn. So at some point we were like more than ready to start implementing our own strategy for our own clients. And around 2014 we were like completely able to do things on our own, and I actually found my own company and everything, so we are like officially doing our own business. And in that point I started doing sales and other things, so somehow my approach was like completely different, and we offer like our strategies, our execution, everything, articles, social media presence, even building websites on WordPress, like full package. And I needed to learn everything and to be able to provide a client with all-in-one solution. And it was like a nice experience for me doing some things for the first time, because I was like the oldest guy in team with the proper background and everything. But somehow I embrace in that time life learning concept, and I was like completely aware that because I love digital and I love marketing and how things are going, that I will be simply in that all my life, and I need to learn not to fall behind. So for me it was really nice time, because I tested the new concept, I tested my strategy, I tested how content creation in different platforms work, I tested LinkedIn, I tested Twitter, and it was like really nice time for me.
Yeah, that's good to hear. How did you come up with all the stuff? Because you needed to sell
Yeah,
them. You needed to know other stuff so you can sell those stuff that you are already doing, right?
exactly,
So
exactly.
one step that I forget to mention is while working in Duo, the agency at the time, we were also with the existing team developing a startup, and this is where I work with our buddy Vedran, who is now director of marketing in VanillaSoft. We work together on a startup which basically awards you for taking care of your car. And he was in charge of all the operations. I was in charge of marketing. It was basically a couple of guys, but it was also a good additional experience. And a sister's company to that agency was also the JTON, which is the global leader in email archiving. So I was also learning about those things, and I was working with them at the time when Hillary Clinton has some affair with email archiving and those kind of stuff. So learning early on how to do marketing for the company that needs to keep things uh, low or secret, or who cannot tell about about things. And it was interesting, but like one thing that stood out for me is when I come to work for an agency based in Serbia, I was like, okay, on the global market, it's going to personalization, everything. So not only through software, through those kind of things, but also in the visuals, not using stock photos, those kind of things. So we had a client, a big company that works with accounting software. And I was asking the agency owner, why do we have like people in suits as stock photos all around the social media, nothing else? And he told me because that's what's working. I said, come on, there's no way. Try it. We tried it. First it was some animations that work in Slovenia, because in Slovenia that's how see the accountant. They're talking about this in a different way, but you know, then I tried it and nobody was reacting. Then I moved back to the stock photos with people in suits, and it wasn't like 100 or 200 or 500 likes. It was even 15,000 likes and comments, and it was like literally crazy on each photo. And I was like, okay, each market is special, and you need to learn how people are looking at things on those markets. So that's what personalization really means. And it was interesting. So we got, we just use stock. I think we use all the stocks photo from the internet with people in suits, like men in suit on a ladders, man in suit in a boat, man in suit on the moon, like everything. And you learn a lot of stuff, and especially because most of the clients were B2C, you are working directly with people, and you learn a lot of stuff of emotions, of how Facebook ads are working, how Instagram ads are working. Back in the days, it was Instagram started with follow for follow or some other things, so you learn that as well. And basically you are dependent on the results, and that's how they are measuring everything you do, and everything is under pressure. I made a lot of mistakes. I was the director of operations and in charge of some of the biggest campaigns. I made a lot of mistakes, like under the pressure. I didn't even realize that I got scheduled some of the posts to be in a different language,
Oh,
and I came back to check them out, and it was okay. I didn't realize the mistake, so I was punished with 20% of the salary for 3 months just because of that. But I was happy because it was a difficult client, a client that I didn't want us to work with. So I was happy. I was okay. Take away 20%,
go.
give me the freedom not to work with a bad client. So at that time, I was already thinking, that I don't want to work with anybody. I want to work with clients that respect what we do, the way we do it, and so that's kind of the background. And I saw that performance marketing has a plateau, and that it works until you have the budget. It works just fine, but after that you need content, you need brand, you need different things. So we moved back to. Actually, that's the direction I wanted to go. That's not the direction the owner wanted to go. It was, for some reason, he didn't want to go to the international market. That I felt like, I'm choking working on a Serbian market, and that I need to go bigger, that I have bigger things ahead of me. So we split up. Um, and actually, I was fired because the owner didn't have enough budget for my salary. It was my salary was the same as the salary of all the other people in the agency, and I mean I understand that from that perspective. So, but we didn't get the bigger revenue because he didn't listen to me. So, and I moved over there, and then I started, coming up with the funky marketing. But at the time, I didn't even know that we will be in a B2B space, working with SaaS companies, working with tech-based companies. I didn't know that. This is how it went. The first client was Impact Hub Belgrade, and they are working with tons of software companies, innovative startups. So we already got into the space, and then I saw the gap into the B2B industry and started implementing the things from B2C into the B2B. But right there, last January when we started, I didn't know much about the SaaS industry. But talking with around 300 companies in a year and a half, too, working with 40 companies, you learn tons of stuff. And a year or a year and a half is a big period of time. You can change your life completely, your career in that time. So what was your idea? Like we started to work together around a year ago,
Almost a year.
something like that. And you have that background in SEO and content and those kind of things, but your background isn't in SaaS as well, and those kind of things, and you were making a break in your career for a year or two or a couple of years, something like that. And how did you get back into the rhythm? I think that would be a nice thing to share.
Well, it was complicated at the beginning because when I came back from Spain in 2017, I was like completely puzzled. I lost my company in Serbia. I stopped doing things I done before, and I was like ready for next step, but I wasn't sure what to do. And I had like few adventures, let's call it that way. And after some time, I mean business adventures, and after some time I was like, hey, no, no way, I'm gonna do this. And I wasn't actually sure what to do, and I took that time to actually learn more things and to be ready for the next step, but I wasn't sure what will be the next step. And to be honest, it was like hard without like real support, without team behind me, because more or less I get used to have like team on my own and to organize things. And now, I mean, in that time I was like alone, and I was ready to start actually doing something new. And I start learning about new tendencies in marketing, about demand generation, about where is LinkedIn right now, where is how things are going in B2B space, what are trends in content marketing. And as I said, I was ready, but I wasn't sure what is like the next step. And in some point I actually noticed like one of your articles, how to create B2B content machine, and I start studying it. I mean, all things in funnel, stuff like that. And I remember that time, it was like summertime, and I was like, hey, this guy is actually know what he's speaking and doing. And I was like really, really pissed off how things are going in Serbia, even on international level. And I was said, hey, I can do business with people who actually understand things, and I cannot work with anyone. And I actually approach you, and I had like plans to move to Belgrade and to continue my career a little bit different. And we start talking, and after few, in my perspective, really, really nice opening talks, I decided, hey, I think I can work together with this guy, and I will learn everything I can in any possible time, and I actually did it. So somehow I feel I'm not behind. I don't feel like I had a break at all now, but it was a little bit hard at the beginning, but I was like fully motivated to do so as fast as possible.
Yeah, it was interesting looking at, where are we now from that time. I mean, I couldn't offer you like a big paycheck or something like that. And you told me like, you didn't want to work for anybody. So that was kind of interesting, and I didn't realize, how much experience you have and those kind of things, because at that time you weren't really active on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I
You
was
have
like,
been active in the past, but looking at your profile, I see that you're not active. So you're telling me like, I will become active, and I was like, okay, I can try it. Let's see how it goes. But it's interesting because we learned a lot by talking with companies, talking with clients, doing things, but also by listening to the podcast.
yeah,
Also, i
that's
think
good.
i think the rise of the podcast helped us a lot, learn different things from different people. I think that if that didn't happen, we wouldn't be where we are right now. At least
Probably.
that's my experience. I couldn't get that much out of the books or from somewhere else. So I think that helped me a lot, and also that you know that other people started to appear and to do the same things, kinda. So Chris Walker and others, and basically I think that all of us were supporting in a way each other, maybe not directly. I never talked to Chris Walker or to somebody, so to some other guys, but we all uh, were growing at the same time, and changing a little bit the things, how we are talking about things, how we are doing things, how was the old way, how was the new way. But you still needed to learn so many things. Like even today in SaaS industry, there are so many expressions that that people have no idea what do they mean. I think that most of them are unnecessary, but there are so many of them, so many shortcuts, like
So many interesting metrics to actually follow and monitor, and
yeah, metrics and those kind of things. And like just yesterday I was listening to an episode. I don't remember who was the guest on DG podcast, and it was a huge company. And he said, attribution is hard, and it's hard to know what to measure. It's hard to figure out, what are the things that you can measure, and then out of those things, eliminating those things that you don't need. That's extremely hard, and not even like you know, I think it was $30 million company or something like that, maybe more. I don't remember. I'm just talking out of my head, but they didn't figure it out yet. And the guy is telling that it's hard. So it is hard for everybody, especially if you're just starting, if you don't know how to do it, especially if you are, developing the product fast. And, we work a lot with Seed A, Seed B stage startups. And, over there, working with them, you can grow 3 to 5 times, and
it's not enough.
it's not
It's not
enough.
enough.
It's not enough, and everything will break couple of times on the way. And and first couple of times you're like, what the fuck is going on? you know Before that I was working with companies which are steady, and
ten
you
percent
needed
grow, and it's okay.
Yeah, and we needed to learn also those things, but it's totally different if you're working directly with the customers as well.
Yeah.
So, different things, but I think the most important thing is, learning by doing and also by talking with those people to find out how they are talking about things. You
There
know,
is no shortcut to that. There is no shortcut to that.
yeah, and also one thing that we started implementing lately, and it helped us a lot to accelerate, in my opinion, go to the next level, is asking the right questions in the onboarding.
That's true.
Because you need to find out the things that will help you do your job better. Maybe the company doesn't know the answers, but you are here to help them find out the answers. And it's extremely needed because companies want agencies or consultants to just go like do the advertising, do the content. Can we skip analyzing? Can we skip optimizing? We cannot, because we need to have the basics right so we can actually do something that gives results.
Learning by doing is amazing concept when you finally embrace it, because only with regularly talking to customers you can actually realize what are like real pain points, not theoretical pain points. And by learning additionally through podcast, and I will agree with that, it's like the best source of knowledge. By first you learn, then you test, you find what's working, and then you execute hard. And there is no shortcut to that. You actually need to understand your customers first, and after
And
that.
one more thing I will say, and I think it's important, extremely important to be said, is that when you start with advertising or when you start with anything new, first 3 months are a trial period, are a testing period. 3 months. So 3 months. Not many companies want to do that. Not many companies want to invest that. Not many companies have the money for that. But it's extremely needed. It doesn't mean that you don't get to the results in 3 months. It You go to the results straight away. But it's all testing and adjusting in the first 3 months. So that's how you need to look at it. Not like we don't have results in the first month, let's stop it. No, it's
No,
still
we are
testing.
in testing phase.
Or if we have results, maybe in 3 months we will have, and I definitely we will have much better results. Because we are optimizing things. And in the first 3 months, you are basically paying, the setup and the research and optimization and everything. After the first 3 months, when the testing is over, when you are paying for the results. That's what's happening over there. And you're not paying the person to do it or the company. You're paying for the results. And, these are important things to know and to be aware of. Because people want, we are going into advertising, we want results in a week. It won't happen. Sometimes it can happen, but usually it's not the way it goes. You will have those results because of something you have done before, not because you started an advertising campaign. And it goes the same for all different things that we are doing over there.
And don't forget the organic. Don't forget the social, because we don't need like followers by numbers, by vanity metrics. We want to build audience, and after that we want to build engaged community. Only with engaged community you can actually go further. And for things like this, you need to add value first. You need to build trust, and you need consistency. You need time.
Yeah. Also, those are all important things. And working a lot with startups, they tend to spend the money from the investors on PPC.
They will
You
burn.
know, so
They will burn their budgets without best results.
I remember what our friend Ognin said, like companies getting like 20 or 30 millions seed money. And what happens next? Google gets 10 millions out of that money. It's funny because it's true. And you can spend that money much wiser. But I don't say that you don't need to invest in the ads. That just, you need to find what's really working for you and get there. So I think we talk a lot. And I think this was actually the show because we were talking about our own lives, our own careers, and taking that to what we are doing right now with the companies, giving some, advice and examples. And but I didn't ask you what is the last song that you listened to.
OMG. Man, I'm listening radio station. Don't ask me that ever again. For me, it's like really, really background noise.
That's the point. You need to focus on one.
I'm trying to focus on our work. This is like just background voice.
Nah, listen. You need what I think it's the good thing for everybody. Is to to celebrate some small wins during the day. That's why I like the checklist. So I can go and you can just cross things out, and when you finish one, you just go and do your dance.
With happy dance.
Or go and drink coffee or have a cigarette or whatever it is that you're enjoying. But celebrate it in a way that you want to celebrate it. Like take the dog out. That's celebration for both of you.
Yeah.
So those kind of things are extremely important, and I like to to play loud music or something like that in the middle of those kind of things to make the small breaks, just so you can keep fresh and go out of the things and leave the pressure out of the room. I think a lot of people are constantly living and working with pressure. So that's why I'm asking you about the last song. It's not about the song.
I think you're doing well under the pressure, and I think you learn this by playing basketball professionally, because I had similar experience when I played chess professionally, and I'm like from my early ages trained to work extremely well under the pressure. So for me, pressure is okay.
Yeah, who knows? I remember when I was a kid and my father was playing basketball, and we like local team from Pirot, a small town in Serbia, was playing Michigan State in Pirot. Like it was all black, I think, at the time, and I have a picture when I was like up to the knees of a basketball player, and you realize how life is different. Even when you're that young, like somebody came to from the US, from the country where the basketball is born, to Serbia, to the small city, to play with your hometown team. And looking from the perspective of a hometown team, it's like, oh, we gotta beat them. It's the once in a decade, in 100 years chance. And there are two perspectives. So I always try to look at the two perspectives. From Michigan State team, it was like, okay, let's finish with this game again. I don't know who are these people, but we are here on the tour. We are enjoying. I don't remember what actually was the purpose of that. I was too young. But from the local team, it's something that's in the books about the history of period basketball. So
It's about legacy. Come on.
Perspectives are very important in life, and the way you look at the things. Like if something will get me out of the comfort zone, and I need to do it to get myself to the next level, or if something is gonna make me calm and I need to be calm to do the task, then I need to calm myself by doing something. And those things are extremely important. And I think we recorded the movie of an hour and 4 minutes, 5 minutes. So I think it is the record when it comes to the Funky Marketing
We are preparing for
show.
24 hours live.
Yeah. I think that is something we need to do, but we need to find out a lot of music, dancing, which is not radio music.
And
but
guest
we
list.
can dedicate 1 hour to radio show.
Yeah, we can actually do it. We just need maybe 20, 30 guests, and we will just do the rest.
Yeah, you think we can talk with 30 people in 24 hours and, live with a voice?
Easy. Sounds like a challenge to me, and I think it's easy.
Yeah, but only if guests are also the cat, the dog, and,
In
you know.
24 hours, everything could happen. So don't worry. Something will just jump.
Yeah. Okay, guys, thanks for listening. I hope we gave something interesting to you. I hope that you learned something. We try to share our background, our experience, and let us know if there is any topic that you want us to dive into, because we are freestyling every week, and we can talk about all kind of different topics uh, any day, and we have a lot of different things to talk about. Maybe we don't remember them, but maybe you need answers from us, so let us know and we'll do it.
People, what can I say? It was like nice time. Next week, same time, join us.
Yeah, and keep it funky.